Hi there, and welcome to Joyful Journeys. I'm Teresa Marone, and here with me today is Patty Adamick, and she's going to be talking about continuum movement. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Teresa. Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm always delighted to talk about Continuum and to visit with you.
Oh, thank you. Now, Continuum is called Continuum Movement for a reason. So, Patty, can you explain to our viewers a little bit more about what that means?
Sure. Continuum movement is a very unique practice that takes into account the fact that we are mostly made of water.
That's right.
I mean, water is the source of all life. So without water, we're not going to be here. And what Continuum does is it offers a way for us to enter into this fluidity of our own system and to allow ourselves to move the way nature intended us to move.
So it's a very holistic type of modality.
It's very holistic. I would say the word modality is limiting to what Continuum really is.
Oh, fabulous.
It's a practice.
Or maybe even a lifestyle?
Well, it does infiltrate your life.
It becomes your lifestyle.
It becomes a way of being. That's what I would have to say about Continuum, is that as you practice this very simple and yet revitalizing practice, it just changes your perspective on life. It really does.
It really does. Well, I'm fascinated to know a little bit about how Patty came to find Continuum Movement and what your transformation has been. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Well, let's just start. How did you very first hear about Continuum?
I heard about Continuum from a friend of mine who had recently experienced a retreat. And she came back, and the first thing I noticed was she just looked different. She looked younger and more relaxed and just had more vitality.
And she was at this retreat for how long?
Just a few days.
Wow.
It was a long weekend. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, what is this Continuum? And as she explained to me how when you allow yourself to be moved by the fluidity of our own system, then it changes your whole structure, your whole system. It's a very different perspective. We're so accustomed, and I know you have a dance background.
Well, I do, but this is a different thing. What we found when we were working together on Continuum is that I'm used to doing a series of movements, and Continuum's not about that.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Well, and that's the reason I bring it up, because, I have a dance background as well as a martial arts background. And I was totally accustomed to constantly, you learn this move and then you do it.
Right.
And you learn this move and then you do it. And then you do it over and over and over. And it's beautiful. I mean, you know, when you see an expressive dancer or a martial artist executing a form, it's beautiful. But Continuum is a different perspective. Mm-hmm. So what we do in Continuum is we activate our fluid system, and by the fluid system I'm talking about all of the fluids that are within our body, and we enliven them through the use of sound, and then we let that become the choreographer. The sound and the activation and the movement unfolds from that, and so you get a movement that is representative of the movement of life, which is spirals, it's arcs, waves. It's what you see when a shoot is coming up from the ground and coming open into a leaf, or what you see in the spirals of a nautilus shell, what you see in the formations of clouds. So that's the kind of movement that is elicited through this practice.
Now, I've heard you speak about this before, and this was something that really fascinated me, and that's the innate intelligence of the water in the body is also activated. Is that how you put it?
That's a very good way of putting it. I appreciate that. Yes, because from a continuum perspective, the fluid system is an organizing intelligence. So we're really not just talking about the fluid in us, We're talking about how that fluid, whether it's in me and you, in the ocean, in the, falling from the sky, is all part of one cohesive organizing system.
That's what you were talking about, how it connects you to the intelligence of the universe.
Exactly.
Isn't that fascinating? I mean, truly it is. And so when you very first got inspired by Continuum, you started taking a couple of these retreats or courses, and then you became the next level, right?
Yes, well, I am now an authorized Continuum teacher, and I continue to study with Emily Conrad, who is the founder of Continuum. And if you want to make any claims about how it enlivens and revitalizes and youthens you, youths you, Emily's a prime example. She's just amazing, and
she's a beautiful woman, isn't she?
She is, and she moves. I mean, the movements that happen when anyone is doing Continuum are movements that are often something that if you tried to do it, if you tried to do it from a muscular effort or strength, it would just, you wouldn't be able to.
Right.
It just unfolds very naturally.
Yes, and it's part of the self-discovery that we're all a part of right now. Everyone's trying to be just a little bit closer in the spiritual nature and all of that. And this really suits that pursuit, doesn't it?
It does. And it does become a way of life. Because once you realize that you are a part of this huge biocosmic intelligence that's there, available all the time, it just gives you access to resources, whether it's for your own healing, whether it's for your creative spark, whether it's for relationships. It just gives you another resource that's very powerful.
Yeah, it seems like it would work really well with the gemstones and crystals. Haven't you done a little bit of work with Continuum and gemstones and crystals?
Well, of course, when you think about gemstones and crystals, they're formed by the action of water, deep underground in the caves. Water and pressure.
Right, all the elements.
Creates those minerals that become these beautiful stones, so sure. Yeah, it's a nice connection.
It is a nice connection. So what would you like to share with our viewers today about them jumping into Continuum somewhere? What would be the best way to jump in and find out some beautiful ways to use that in their life?
The best way to do it is to start by just investigating Continuum. So they can go to continuummovement.com, which is our worldwide Continuum website. And they can also visit my website, which is pattyadamick.com.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, Patty, I have heard through the grapevine that we have a very special demonstration by you for our viewers today. Would you like to do that now?
Sure. I talk about this, and we are on video, and
sure.
One picture is worth 1,000 words, and one video is worth, 10,000 words. So
That's
I would
right.
love to share with you what I call the Water Magic Show.
This is going to be fun. All right, we'll be right back with the Water Magic Show by Patty Adamick.